I want to respect your time. So here is the news. The news is Breath of the Wild will not include the DLC within the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of that game. For years, I have been saying it would. For years, I have been saying it would be a great idea for them to bring it over. And IGN has come out and said they spoke with someone from Nintendo, and they told IGN The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Nintendo Switch 2 edition does not include The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Expansion Pass DLC. That DLC is available as a separate purchase. That's the news. I hope you watch the rest of the video. I really would like you to, but that's the news. I won't waste your time. Now that you know that, Breath of the Wild is a special game to me. Let me tell you that first. Breath of the Wild is my favorite game of all time. It is the game that got me into video games on a deeper level, that sunk me deeper into my love for Nintendo and gaming as a whole. It introduced me to games outside of Mario. It has changed my life, and that is not an understatement. And now, we are here with the Switch 2, and I couldn't be more excited that we have the opportunity to play this game in a better way. It is just better to play this game on the Switch 2. And I can say that wholeheartedly and agree, it will be better to play this on the Switch 2. It will look better, it will feel better, it will be better. But now, Nintendo has crossed a line, and I am upset. I have been defending them throughout this whole Switch 2 price debacle. I can see the logic, and even here, I can see where they're coming from. Because Breath of the Wild, $60, $10 extra for the upgrades, the 4K, the new content on the smartphone, and then $20 for the DLC, which was the original price for that expansion pass on the Switch 1. But for a game that was developed solely in mind for the Wii U, for a game that was developed in the vast majority of its lifespan over a decade ago, and they have decided to buck the trend of the entire industry. They have decided to release this game again without the DLC included, going against the other greedy companies that don't do this, going against their own values in which they have done in the past. They have incorporated DLC into ports in the past, and they've decided to get every ounce of money out of us that they can. And I don't like it. I am not a fan of it. With the Switch 2, I think it is perfectly priced. In fact, I think it's a deal because it is a powerhouse. It is much more powerful than the PS4. I don't care what those industry insiders were saying. It's more powerful than a PS4. PS4 couldn't run 4K. The Steam Deck can't run Cyberpunk 2077. The Switch 2 can. And these games are going to look great. They're going to run great. They're going to be great. It's going to be phenomenal. So I don't mind the price for that. The $70 games, I also don't mind. The $80 games, I don't like. But I'm not going to look at you and say, oh, I'm outraged. I hate this. It's bad. Because I'm going to buy it. As simple as that. I'm going to buy it. And I'm going to buy Mario Kart World for $80. And I am going to love it. I'm going to love the new Mario Kart. And so I understand the outrage. I'm not a fan. In fact, I don't like the $80 price point. I would much rather it be at $70 like the rest of the industry should be at for now. And yet, I'm going to buy it. So I don't want to come on here and make a big stink and act like I'm going to lead some boycotting movement when I'm not. I'm going to buy this console. I'm going to buy a Pro Controller. I'm probably going to buy that camera. I'm going to buy all this stuff because I love Nintendo and I'm going to talk about it on my channel. And I'm going to try to find even more people to positively impact because a lot of people love Nintendo. And the reason I do this, I have many reasons, but one of the top reasons is that I want to share my passion for Nintendo with people who love Nintendo just as much as I do. And I love to interact with you guys and hear your comments and just be here with you guys. I love it. And so I'm going to be there and I'm going to buy it. But Breath of the Wild will be $70 base price. That's it. To get into this, if you didn't have it before, you have to pay $70 for the Switch 2 version. And if you want the DLC, if you want the full experience for Breath of the Wild, you will have to shell out $90 plus tax. So you're getting around $100 to play the full experience of Breath of the Wild, a game that is over 8 years old, a game I adore, my favorite game ever made, a game I will always love and look at fondly. And yet, I cannot agree with this. This is asinine. It is ridiculous, and I am personally upset with Nintendo, and I feel slighted. Now, here is what we don't know, because still, and I have a video coming soon talking about their severe miscommunication with us, we still have questions. Number one, within this trailer of the Breath of the Wild Switch 2 Edition, Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 Edition, in which they talk about adding a save file, right before that, they show us this home screen of Breath of the Wild, and it says play in master mode. Now, they advertise this within the actual Switch 2 edition itself. Does that mean they goofed up and they just so happen to show off the DLC of this? Or does it mean for people who already had the DLC, the upgrade pack, which is only $10, will also include the DLC? As someone who had it on the Switch 1, who bought both the game and the DLC, sunk hundreds of hours into both, will I just be able to buy the upgrade pack and be totally fine and just get the DLC with it? Is that what they were trying to show off here? Because if not, this reeks of a lawsuit. This reeks of false advertising. Because play in master mode is plastered right here. I was one of the only people to ever see it, and I've not heard a single peep of it. No one has said it. I've not heard anyone else say it. I'm the only one. I feel like I'm screaming into a void here. This trailer shows off master mode. It doesn't show us playing it. It doesn't show it being used, but it shows it on the menu. So that is false advertising if this is not included with the actual Switch 2 edition, like IGN seems to have confirmed here. That is awful. That is horrible, because people probably saw that. Some keen-eyed viewer saw that and were so excited and isn't going to be looking into this, because guess what? This news broke yesterday. IGN put this interview out yesterday. This story was yesterday, and I didn't see it until today. And I am deep into this stuff. I am all over the place. I am keeping my eyes and ears open, and I didn't hear about this until today. And when I saw the tweet, it wasn't from IGN, it was from someone else, and I didn't believe it. And so I didn't even make a video about it until right now. And so this is frustrating because Nintendo, once again, has not communicated to us, will not tell us what their games are offering, and will just not be clear with us overall. And that is just, it's awful. It is abysmal communication. Now, this does not confirm anything for people who already have the game. The 30 plus million people who have Breath of the Wild, and probably half of that bought the DLC too. So if you have both of those already, I am going to go out on a limb here, and maybe I am wrong, and I wouldn't be surprised if I am, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say the upgrade pack will let you also have that DLC in 4K if you already purchased it before. That is my assumption, because I don't see another way in which Nintendo could legally advertise Master Mode without that being the reason. Now, because I think this, and because I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be, I almost didn't make this video. Because similarly with Mario Kart World and my silence on that and that price and just me not being outraged by it, I'm going to buy that game, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not a fan of the price, and I'm not a fan of this price. But I'm going to tell you right now, as unfortunate as it would be, I would buy it. I would pay $10 for the upgrade and then $20 again for the upgraded version of the DLC, because I love this game and I want to play it again. Does that make me a hypocrite for coming on here and saying it is disgusting that Nintendo is not including their DLC of an 8-year-old game within a Switch 2 edition, a remaster if you will? Maybe it does, but I will be transparent with you here in saying I would pay for it. Now, I hope that people who already bought it can just get the upgrade and that's what it is, because that has to be the only feasible option here. And yet if it's not, it's just poor communication. And that is a very, very bad decision by Nintendo to just not talk about it. And the thing is, Tears of the Kingdom did not get any DLC, and that game will add a whole bunch of smartphone content and only be $10 extra. So then if you say, okay, $70 for Breath of the Wild because that edition includes the graphics and then the new content for $10. Okay, I'm fine with that. But then DLC, 8-year-old DLC for $20, I just don't know. I just don't know, because that means you're going to have to buy the DLC again, you're going to have to buy the expansion pass again, and that all was upgraded. So if you are listening to this and you're like, man, I want to get in on Breath of the Wild, I have not played it before, and I'm so excited to get a Switch 2, then I'm sorry that you have to pay $90, 100 plus tax, to get into this experience. That is simply egregious. And once more, I can see the logic. With Mario Party Jamboree plus Jamboree TV and Kirby and its Forgotten Land DLC, whatever they're adding to that, the Star-Crossed Road or whatever it's called, those can make logical sense if you break it down. $60 for the base game, $10 for the upgrade, sure. Then another $10 for the extra content, then you get to $80. Okay, it makes sense. Don't like it, but it makes sense. This, again, you can see the logic. $60 for the game, $10 for the upgrade, $20 for the DLC, $90. I don't like it at all. It's horrible. It's disgusting, and I'm not a fan. It is so unbelievably bad, and yet there is logic to it. And so as much as I want to come here and say, oh, Nintendo are greedy dirtbags, as much as that emotion makes me want to spew that hatred, I just can't, because I don't believe that's the truth. I think they do look out for the consumer in a lot of different ways. The money just is not one of them. The money is not one of them. And yet, I will pay for a lot of these experiences because they are so grand. They have so much love poured into them. The developers clearly love what they do. They do not have crunch time. In fact, Animal Crossing New Horizons famously sold as much as it did because it was delayed into 2020 and came out right when the pandemic lockdown started. And so Nintendo was rewarded. They were rewarded for their generosity towards their employers to treat them like human beings, unlike the entire rest of the industry, which deals with crunch. And I'm not saying within Nintendo's entire history there has never been crunch. That is absolutely not the case. But as of late, they have done a phenomenal job in treating their employees like human beings and letting them create art. Without AI, they are anti-AI, one of the only companies that won't even talk about it, that says, that's not what we do at Nintendo. That's not a part of our business model. We don't do that. They have so much going for them, and their whole shtick is we want you to smile. And boy, do they make us smile a lot. So I can't call them greedy dirtbags. I can't come on here and say they're scum of the earth, when they're just not. They're not. And yet, I feel as though they take us a little bit for granted at times because they know we'll buy it. And so they push us and they push us and they push us until we decide to stop buying. And for most of us, that time won't come. There will probably, unless it's like such an egregious price, I can't even wrap my head around it, like over $100 per game, and it's like a crappy game, like that is about as far as they could go. But I think they wouldn't do that. I just don't believe they would do that unless the market around them made it a little bit closer to that being a standard. Like if all of a sudden games were $100 and they decided to do the same, I would hate it, but I would be like, you know what? They're just following suit, right? That's what people are paying for. They're doing now. They look around the industry and all of the fans make fun of Sony, make fun of Xbox, Ubisoft, EA for releasing buggy messes of games. Games that don't work, play horribly, are just an overall bad experience, aren't fun, have no quality or love poured into them because they weren't given any time to have such. There's AI slop, microtransactions. Nintendo does none of that. So how can they be called greedy when all of these other companies do much worse? I just can't go out and say that they are greedy. Do they make decisions that are money focused? Yes, because they are what? A company. Their interest is to make money. That's what their best interest is. And so the best way they've known to do that so far is to hire people who love what they love to do. And that is make games. And that is give smiles to people. There are multiple parts of a company. Multiple. And the people making decisions about prices, people making decisions about consumer benefits, DLC, all of this stuff, these people who make the games, the vast majority of people who work at Nintendo who love us and are looking out for us, don't make those decisions. So for Nintendo to look around at the industry, see all this crap happening, see all the fans, give them so much slack, even if they release a horrible buggy mess of a game, oh, we'll fix it later, right? And so they do. And they, we'll release a game half done and then put a bunch of DLC in it later, right? And that's what other companies do, and Nintendo sees that, and they have to say, our games are worth more than that. And I believe they are. In fact, very, very few games outside of the Nintendo brand do I even care about. And if I do care about them, I don't think they're more valuable, and I would never pick them over Nintendo. So to an extent, they're right. And I hate to say that because I don't want them to charge $90 for this, and technically it's not, right? You pay $70 for the game, and if you want the DLC, you can choose to buy it. But it would just be so nice, it would just be great if they were to add this as a part of the entire package, because that is what they have done themselves in the past. And what other companies have always done is include DLC within these remastered versions of games. For them to buck that trend just feels wrong, and I'm sure there's someone in a suit somewhere in Tokyo, or Kyoto, I believe, wherever their headquarters is. I don't want to get that wrong, but wherever their headquarters are, I'm sure someone decided, these games, they don't lose value, right? They don't drop in value, and neither does the DLC. So we will charge them, and they will buy, and we will. People are going to buy this. And that is unfortunate, but it's worth it for the people who buy it, and that's just what capitalism is. If we buy it, then it's worth it. That was the right price. That is what it means. If 1 million people buy it, then it's worth it because we bought it. So I'm not a fan. I don't want to talk you in circles. I feel like I'm kind of already doing that, but this is upsetting. I am very upset. Now, I don't want to come on here and just trash Nintendo here, but I do think if the DLC is given to us who already had it for free, then this is a lot easier for me to swallow. Because most of the people who are going to want to hop back into this game are probably people who have already played it, to be honest. There are sure going to be a lot of new people who want to play it, who have heard about this forever and are finally going to dig out the money to buy it, but a lot of people are also going to want to experience that DLC, and a lot of people have already experienced it. And so for someone like me, if it's only $10 to get back into the entire thing, then yeah, I love that, and that's a deal for me to get the DLC all included. But for the people who don't, this just feels icky, and it adds a little bit of truth to the people who have been clamoring, oh, it's $90 games, which it's not true in America. That is misinformation. There is no one video game Nintendo is charging for $90, but it adds a little bit of credence here to those people, because you pay $70 for Breath of the Wild and $20 for the DLC, and that does make $90, doesn't it? So this is going to be taken out of context, and it will annoy me, but you know what? Nintendo kind of earned it. In a way, they've earned it, because this should be fully included. And for the people who haven't bought this game, I am sorry, and it's unfortunate. So please let me know all of your thoughts about this down below. Let the comment section be your outlet to express your frustration. I will try to challenge some of those ideas if I think them to be a little bit over the top, but hey, I'm right there with you. I am absolutely devastated by this news, and I hope that they don't do this moving forward. I hope this is just some sort of weird one-off, because Breath of the Wild is so special, and they know how special it is, and they know it's Game of the Year, and they know how many people love it, and that's why they're doing this. I guarantee you they wouldn't do this for a smaller franchise. I guarantee you Metroid would include all of the content if there was such a game that needed it. But no, it's Zelda, and it's Breath of the Wild. It's the greatest game of all time, right? So we'll charge what we will. To know exactly when I upload these videos, consider joining my membership program to support the channel and just to get early access to videos and a bunch of other perks yourself. Click on the left side of the screen if you want to see my big video defending Tears of the Kingdom, and click on the right side of the screen to watch my playlist of all of my Zelda videos. Thank you once again for making it to the very end of this video. I love you all very much. Have a phenomenal day. I have been Ray. This has been Ray's Nintendo Talk, and I will see you all in the next video.